Hello, hello, hello. How are you guys doing this evening? It is 1:25 a.m. on this very spooky Saturday evening. I just dropped my husband off at home. He was gonna take the dogs out and then go to bed. He is exhausted. He's been up since like 6 or 7 this morning. He's had a long day. And I am really tired myself, honestly. I laid down to take a nap while they went to the haunted houses. Alex went with Melissa and Jason and Aaron and Eric. And they went to 2 haunted houses tonight. Nightmare on something street. And then they went to something called the 13th Hour. They said they were really scary. And then they came back to Aaron's house. We all met back there, and we sat around a little bonfire pit in the backyard and made s'mores. It was really fun. And Aaron's son and daughter, and then her daughter's friend, went to the haunted houses as well. So they were playing a game upstairs. They came down and they like had s'mores for a little bit and talked to us, but they were like playing a game, the 3 of them. So anyway, they were explaining to us about the game. But anyway, it was a nice night. I lay down and I took a little bit of a nap while they went there. I could only sleep for like an hour. Boo Radley is like, I had to leave my phone on in case like Alex texted me or called to let me know that they were on their way back to the house. So I wanted to like get up and throw some clothes on and be over there when they got there. And like Boo Radley is really, really scared of the sound that like if I get a text message on my computer, like if it comes through or if it goes off on my phone, because I usually keep my phone on silent, like he is really, really scared of that sound. He doesn't like it at all. And it's weird because it's something that just started recently. He doesn't like it at all. This Uber is literally riding my tail right now. And I'm going like the speed limit. Like, you need to get off my tail. So anyway, I had a good day today. I got up, well, I vlogged earlier, and you guys know that, and I got my pee-pee hat, that says Bachelor on it. So if you didn't see that, it's in my last vlog. I was gonna wear it I wore it all day today. I was gonna wear it tonight, but I didn't want it to smell like bonfire. Which is funny because I got in the car and I'm like, oh my God, like I smell like a bonfire, which I love that smell, but the hat would have smelled like that forever. And I didn't want to smell like all smoky like a bonfire, you know, since I just got it. So I left that at home. But anyway, after I got home this afternoon, I filmed a drama video. I filmed a Peterisms video. I was gonna make a booktube video. I was gonna do a booktube vlog, but I didn't end up doing that. And because Alex got home, and so like he wanted to relax and stuff and just like look at TikToks and play his game. And so I was like, I'll just, by the time he got home, I just had my Peterisms video to film. So I filmed that. I got my other videos up. I had filmed my review video at Dunkin' Donuts, and I had played like just a clip of this Kate Bush song in it that I had downloaded, this Babushka song, because I had seen this place called Babushka's Deli, and it reminded me of this song by Kate Bush called Babushka that I had liked when I was like in high school or something. So I like downloaded the song and then like I played like 2 seconds of it in this review. Well, like there was a copyright claim because of the music on my video, so I had to edit that part out, which, you know, like I'm not the champion of editing. And then, oh, by the way, if you wondered in my vlog yesterday at the end of it, like if you watch like when I'm at the post office, like there were a lot of edited clips, like probably 3 I think I did in the last couple minutes. And it was because I really don't think that you could have seen it anyway because it was so far away and it was, you know, blurry on the screen. But I just wanted to make sure that Amy's address was clipped out of the vlog. So I went in there and I clipped those parts out. So if the end of the vlog didn't make sense, that's why. Because I clipped those parts out where like I was holding the box open, or you could see like the label or something on it. Like the mailing label. So anyway, so yeah, so then Alex went to, I took him to Melissa and Jason's because they were driving to go pick up Aaron and Eric, and then, or did they drive? They drove in separate cars, but I think they went over there first or something. I don't know, or they met there. I don't know how it happened, but anyway. And then I came back and I finished, I watched the first episode of Wentworth tonight, the 8th season. I talked to Tanya earlier, and I was like, what are you doing? She's like, I'm watching Wentworth. And I was like, is it good? And she's like, I mean, it feels like home. I love Wentworth. It's like one of my favorite shows. And she's like, it feels like being home because I love these characters. She's like, but they, of course, they introduce new characters. And then, like, one of, like, this really evil character that I don't like, she's back. I don't want to ruin it for anybody in case you haven't watched it, but I don't know. It's just like, it's always like Vera, I love Vera, the character Vera, but like she just cannot like get ahead ever. Like it just seems like nobody good on the show like ever gets ahead, you know? So, but I watched the first episode and I called Tanya and I was like, I have a bone to pick with you. And she was like, about what? And I was like, my nose has been driving me crazy. Every day I've taken my allergy medicine and I'm still like, my allergies are just, they're a lot this year. And so anyway, I was like, I have a bone to pick with you. And she's like, what, about what? And I said, you said that like, I can't, she didn't, because I said to her, I said, you said that Wentworth was boring. And she said, I didn't say that Wentworth was boring. And she didn't say it was boring, but she kind of acted like it just wasn't that great this season. And I was like, the first episode alone, Tanya Jean, was so good. And she started laughing. She was like, the first episode was like, oh my God, like all this crazy stuff happens. I'm down to a quarter of a tank of gas. I'm hoping that I don't have to get gas tonight. And I really want to listen to my audiobook here in a second, but, so anyway, I talked to Tanya for a little bit, and then I finished that episode. Well, I finished that episode, and then I took the dogs out, and then we lay down for like an hour and 10 minutes, 15 minutes maybe, hour and 15 minutes. And then Alex called me, and he said, we're on our way home. And I said, okay. And so I got up, and I put on this hoodie, this old hoodie that I got at Meijer. Do you see it? It's like palm trees on it. I have this in blue, like a bluish green, and I have it like gray with bluish green on it, and then I have this gray one with like the orange on it. I got two of them. Tanya has the same one. We bought them at Meijer, and we didn't even know that we had bought the same one, and then we both showed up to go to a meeting one night. We had matching sweatshirts on. Was that how it happened, or did she just have it on? I think we both had them on one night. Anyway, we always buy the same sweatshirts at Meijer, and then we have matching sweatshirts. She has this Champion sweatshirt that she wore the other night, and it says Champion all over it. It's like white, and then it says Champion all over it. And I just kept on looking at the sweatshirt. I was like, I have that exact same sweatshirt at home. It's a good thing I didn't wear it tonight. We always buy the same, like, clothes. She was looking at these. They're like hoodie, kind of like t-shirt, Champion like hoodie kind of t-shirt things the other day. And I was like, aren't those cute? I almost bought them. And she's like, yeah, they're really cute. I think I want to get one. And they're like blue and green, like these bright colors. And I got home and I was going through my closet because I'm like trying to get rid of stuff that I know that I won't wear, and stuff that I'm trying to redo my closet right now. And so I was like going through my hoodies, and I found this, like pulled one out. I was like, what is this green hoodie that I own? And it's like this long sleeve like t-shirt, kind of like heavy t-shirt material. And it was the one that like kind of what she was looking at, and I have it in green and blue with the tags on it. I've never even worn it. I didn't remember buying it, and I had them in my closet. I do that all the time. I buy stuff and then I forget that I have it. Which is why I said to Alex, it's like I have like a closet full of new clothes because I have all this stuff that has tags on it that I've never worn. Just kind of nice, you know? But anyway, I've got to go through all this stuff and get rid of the stuff that I don't want to wear anymore. But I'm always afraid that like later I'll want to wear it again. So I have to be like really sure that I don't ever want it. Because like often I'll be like, where is that one thing that I had? And I had this like patchwork hoodie that I got in England. I got it in London when I was like I went there when I was like 20, I think, 20 or 21. Oh my God, I loved this hoodie. I got it in Camden Lock. I bought all these Doc Martens, got rid of all my Doc Martens. I don't have any of my Doc Martens anymore. I wish I had them. I'm thinking about getting another pair this year, but I don't know what kind I want. And, because I haven't had a pair of Doc Martens in a long time. And then, I had this hoodie, and I don't know what happened to it. And I don't know why I would have ever gotten rid of it. I do remember though, like, I just remembered this. I had this denim, like, pea coat that I got from J. Peterman, and I think I wore it to London that year. And I went there with my friend, because my friend's sister, they live here actually now in town. But her sister lived in London. Her sister was actually, she was like, this is before animation is the way that it is now. She studied fine art at Purdue, and so she went to London. Their dad is from Scotland, and so she went to London because they used to go over there a lot when they were growing up, and she always wanted to live in London. So she went to London and she painted cells, which are like, you know, each of the things that they used for animation back in the day, for a Disney movie that finally did come out. It was like years and years and years later, but it finally came out. So we went and visited her. We left on like the 26th of December, and we came back on like the 5th of January or something. And we stayed with her for like, I forget that everything closes at like midnight in Indianapolis. I just drove through Broader Bowl, and I was like, it's completely dead. And I was like, that's so weird on a Saturday night. Well, everything closes at midnight. We stayed with her the majority of the time. I remember she had this apartment, and she shared it with 3 other people. And it was like, and I hadn't been in I mean, I had been to London before. I went with my dad and my stepmom. We went to England for like 2 weeks. We went to like Oxford. We went and stayed in this castle. We stayed in London. That was like a really fun trip. I was like, at that time, I was like 18, I think, because I remember we went to like the New Year's thing, and you know, at that time, like, you know, you can like drink in England if you're, you know, you don't have to be 21. And I got quite buzzed. And I remember on New Year's Eve, we were staying like in this castle out in the middle of nowhere, and they had like one channel on the TV, and we had like this little like suite, and by suite I mean it was probably 400 square feet total, and it was like 1 bathroom and 2 bedrooms, and it was like this little sitting area, and the sitting area was probably by 5 feet by 5 feet. It was so small, like everything is so small, you know. And I remember my stepmom and I weren't ready to go to bed. We got back after midnight, like we came back right after like the New Year hit and all that kind of stuff. I remember we did those like cracker things, you know, where you like shoot those cracker things off. And then we came back to the room, and my dad went to bed, and so my stepmom and I wanted to stay up and like watch TV or something. And the only thing, they had like one channel, and on this channel, The Rose with Bette Midler was starting, and I had never seen it before. And my stepmom was like, oh my God, I love this movie. And so she and I sat for like 2.5 hours and watched The Rose, and I remember just sobbing and watching it. I loved that movie. Oh my God. And I totally fell in love with that. And then we went to Oxford, and you know, I think there are sometimes like, I think some of those trips are like missed on your youth a little bit. Like, I can remember walking around Oxford, and I think back on that now, like, we went to the churches and stuff where, like, where all the famous people are, like, buried, like, all the famous writers. I don't know which church that is. And then, that's in London. And then we went to I don't think that's the same church that Princess Diana had her wedding at, maybe. I don't know. We went to 2 different churches. And then my dad wanted to get a suit made at this like very famous like suit place, so we did that. I think that was that trip. Did we go more than once? Did I go more than once with them? And then I was like obsessed with like the crown jewels because like I had seen some movie or something about the crown jewels, and so I was obsessed with it. So my dad and my stepmom are not super touristy people, and so we went to go see the crown jewels, and it was like, it became like this joke, like, where are the jewels? Because there's like, the crown jewels aren't really like what you think they are, you know what I mean? It's like swords and stuff like that. It's not like, oh, we did the Buckingham Palace and the changing of the guard. That was actually really, really cool. I don't really remember a whole lot of that trip, honestly. I remember walking around Oxford and my dad just being like blown away, and they had been there before, because my dad and my stepmom used to go to like, they used to go to Wimbledon every year. They used to go to every tennis championship that happened, like the US Open, French Open, all that stuff. But I can remember he just was kind of like blown away with Oxford. I can see myself like walking around this one area, and I don't really think I had, like, in retrospect, like, I really had any kind of clue, like, really what Oxford was, you know? Like, I mean, now, you know, knowing what I know today at 48, like, I don't think I really had any idea. But when my friend and I went, she and I, it was basically just a complete, like, drunk tirade through London. I mean, we literally, all we did was drink and go to pubs and go shopping. That was it. And we stayed with her sister, and her sister was in this flat that was like, it was like 3 or 4 stories, and like the downstairs was like, when you went to the very back, it was like a kitchen, and it was a really small, like, galley kitchen. And then to the right was like this little living room that was super small, like 10 by 10. And then it had like a little fireplace in it, and they had like a little couch and stuff. And then, like, you went up the stairs, and there was like a bathroom, a bedroom, and then go up the other flight of stairs, there was a bedroom, and then another flight of stairs, and there was like a bedroom. So there was like a bedroom on each floor, but they all shared like this one bathroom on like the second floor. And I do remember, though, like, going into her bedroom, and she's like an avid reader, and she had all of these books like stacked up. They weren't like on bookshelves, they were like stacked up on the floor, like 10 high. And there was something about that I loved, that she just, do you ever see something that people do and you're just like, I love that? It just, like, I don't know, like, she had all these books that she had like bought and read. And I remember she and I got in like some huge fight on New Year's Eve. We went to this pub, and I, of course, was completely drunk, and I was hitting on this bartender that was very straight. I guess I didn't know it or something, I don't know. And he was just being very kind about the whole thing, and I don't remember any of it. But she was so mad about it the next day. I do know that I have all these pictures of me and him together, and we're like, and I'm like, you know, I mean, I was just being friendly, that's all. But anyway, she was like, later, my friend, I almost said her name. My friend was like, you weren't really hitting on him. You just were like, you could tell that you thought he was cute. But anyway, I can remember we were like on this, what's it called? It's not, they don't call it a subway there. What do they call it? Not the L, like in Chicago, but what do they call it? I can't remember. But anyway, we were on the tube or whatever it's called, and she was sitting across from me. I like took off. Like, that's what happened. I got like really mad, and she said something to me the night before. None of this I remember, because of course I was in a complete blackout. And so I had tonsillitis, like, up till the point of like I had been really sick. And so I was like drinking, and I was on Vicodin, not smart. And so I left the pub, which was not in her neighborhood, downtown London, okay, in some small neighborhood, on New Year's Eve, and I just started walking the streets of London. I to this day, I have no idea, like, I mean, this is before cell phones and stuff. I have no idea how I found where I was going or how to find my way home. I don't really, I'd have to ask my friend. I don't really remember how they ever found me or what happened. I was just like walking around the streets. And, but she was really upset with me about that. Like, she was really upset about, like, I don't know, just everything about the night before. And I was so hungover, and I can remember I just, like, yelled. I looked at her, and I just, like, started yelling. I was just like, shut up, shut up. Like, I can't listen to any more of this. Anyway, and then we went and stayed in a hotel after that. We had already had plans to go stay in a hotel, but we went and stayed at a hotel after that. It's so funny because, like, I thought for, like, years after that she hated me, which she didn't. So then she ended up meeting her husband, and he's from Ireland, and they moved here because, like, their whole family lives here. My friend's mom passed away, like, the year after we got out of high school. But her dad's side of the family, her parents have been divorced, are, like, super close, and they all live here, and they have, like, a family business and stuff together. So she moved here with her husband. They have kids here and raise their kids here and stuff. And forever, I can remember thinking that, like, she hated me because of that. And she showed up, she and my friend came to Alex and I's bachelor party. And she was telling she was telling the same story that I just did, but, like, in a really funny way. Like, she's like, oh my God. And she was like, you were, like, crushing on this bartender, and he was being so nice to you, and blah, 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 and all this kind of stuff. And, anyway. She's like, and I was so scared, and you walked down the street, and I was like, I don't know how I'm ever going to be able to call your dad and tell him that we lost you. And I mean, that is really scary to think that I was walking around London completely blacked out of my mind on New Year's Eve, you know, at like 2 o'clock in the morning, had no clue where I was. I used to always do that. I would just, like, take off places. Anyway, scary, isn't it? Like, was I 20 or was I 21 when that happened? I feel like I was 20 when I went over there with her. She and I got into a lot of trouble back in the day. Oh my Lord, oh my Lord. Ooh, we loved to drink together. She and I used to love to drink and shoot pool. So I have talked about this on here. I don't talk a lot about it. But, like, one of my little secret talents that people probably would never guess is that I'm a very good pool player, and I'm very proud of it. I will just say that. It's one of my secret things that I even have my own pool stick at home. I thought I threw it away, but I didn't, because I haven't played pool in forever. It's one of the very few things that, like, when people are like, what's something that you're good at? I'm like, I'm a good pool player. Like, I don't tell a lot of people that. Actually, my grandfather, my dad's dad, he used to gamble and play pool. And he was like a pool shark. Like, he was really, really good. So I don't know, maybe I get it from him. But I also think it's a lot of practice. And I've practiced a lot in my life. But she and I used to go shoot pool. We used to shoot pool at this place. Oh, what were those bars called? There was one east and one west here in town. And they were totally dive bars. And we used to go there, and I would drink. We would go there on, like, a Wednesday afternoon. We wouldn't go to school. And we would go, what are those bars called? They're closed down now. If somebody's from Indianapolis and you're my age, do you guys remember a bar? And one was called, it was like something East and something West. And it was not like Ike and Jonesy's. There was Ike and Jonesy's East and West too, but it wasn't that. But it was like, they were just like these little sports kind of dive bars that had pool tables in them and stuff. And I remember, I feel like it started with a P. I don't know why, but anyway. She'd come pick me up, and we would go there on, like, a Wednesday. And I remember she used to drink Seagrams and 7, and I would drink Jack and Coke, and we just would get wasted. And God. I must have got real sick one time, because like just thinking of that memory makes me like, I could literally text her right now and you'd be like, do you remember that? I'm sure she's not up because she's an adult today. She long ago left all of that behind, but I could text her and be like, do you remember those bars we used to hang out with? She would be like, she would know immediately what it was. I feel like she bartended at one of them, actually. But every friend I had back in the day was a bartender. I hardly ever paid to drink places. My friends would be like, a lot of my friends would be like, if you just, or like they would date bartenders, and so we would go to like the places where they like, their boyfriends or girlfriends like were bartenders, and they'd say just tip them really good, like you know, put like $40 in the tip jar or whatever, and then like they'll just give you free drinks all night long, or $20 or whatever, you know. So we would do that. I keep on wanting to say it's like the Pump East, but that's not what it is. It's like on the tip of my tongue. It like nobody cares. So anyway. I wonder what made me think about all of that tonight. You know how scary it is? I used to just blackout drink all the time. Would end up places. I had no clue how I got home. I had no idea like how I got. I mean, I think about my life today, you know, and it's like, I'm so weird about stuff like that, you know, and it's like I don't know if you guys know this. I don't think this is something I've talked about, maybe, I don't know if it's ever come up, but I won't get in a car with somebody that's been drinking, like, and driving. Like, I don't care if they've even had a glass of wine or a beer. Like, I will not get in a car with them. Like, I'm really, really weird about that. And, like, if I go to dinner with somebody, like, you know, like, usually today, at 25 and a half years sober, I don't really, like, now, if somebody's intoxicated, like, I will not let them get in a car. I'll be like, you need to let me drive you home. Let me drive you, oh no, I need my car. No, we'll come, I'll help you get your car tomorrow. Just call me, I'll pick you up, I'll take you to bring your car. But I cannot think of the last time, honestly, that happened, because the majority of the people that I hang out with, they just don't, like, drink like that, you know? I can't remember, and I don't think that everybody that gets drunk is an alcoholic, obviously. I mean, there's a lot of people that get drunk from time to time and they're not alcoholics, you know? My husband likes to get drunk every once in a while, and I don't believe he's an alcoholic, so, you know, it's just like, but I'm trying to think of the last time that I was somewhere with somebody, like at dinner or something, where they had a couple drinks more than, like, they were a little buzzed at the end, and I said, let me drive you home, or let me get you an Uber. But you know, what's interesting is the majority of my friends, well, first of all, most of my friends, either like Melissa that I was with tonight, like, she just doesn't drink at all, you know, and like, they were sitting around the fire, and like, Alex had a beer, and Jason had a beer, Aaron's husband doesn't drink at all, Melissa doesn't drink at all. I don't drink at all. And that's by choice for them. You know, it's not like all the other stuff. Like Alex and Jason and Aaron were all having, like, she was drinking like a White Claw or something, Aaron was, because she had like it in a koozie. But I mean, nobody was like slamming beers, you know? I mean, we sat there for like over 3 hours. And Alex, they each had like probably 2. I don't know the last time that I was somewhere where I had to say something to somebody about driving home, that I didn't want them to drive home. I can't remember, honestly. And I definitely can't remember the last time I was with somebody that they were so blackout drunk that they had no business, you know, like leaving wherever they were. I honestly cannot remember. I mean, I'm not saying that I haven't been like, you know, at a bar, at a music festival in the last couple of years where I haven't witnessed somebody like that I didn't know. Like, I definitely have that, you know, but not with somebody that I've known that's been on that level. People are also very considerate of me and kind of very careful. Like, I think A lot of people don't do that around me because they're respectful of it and they're considerate. But I also think that a lot of people know, like, if I get that wasted around Peter, I'm probably gonna have like some kind of conversation later, if that makes sense. It stopped. It was at the end. I mean, I don't ever say to somebody, like, you have a problem and you need to do something about it. You know, I would never do that. But, like, and I would never have the conversation in front of somebody else. But, like, if I have a friend of mine that... I'm trying to think of this. I can't even think of the last... Honestly, I literally cannot think of... I mean, I've had people that have reached out to me recently and said that they thought they had a problem. You know, and I'm always there to help them and whatever if they need to get into treatment, I think that's what they need. A lot of people will ask me, you know, like, what do you think? And I'm like, well, I don't know. Like, you know, I don't know you're drinking. Tell me what's going on, you know? I do recommend to people that, like, use substances daily that they should probably go and have an evaluation at a treatment facility or a, you know, hospital or something, because it's dangerous to detox yourself at home on anything, you know, especially alcohol. People can go into alcoholic withdrawal symptoms, seizures and things. It's very dangerous to try on your own, depending on how much you drink. So I have, you know, quite a few people that will reach out to me and ask me for help. But, like, friends of mine or people that know that, like, I've been sober and stuff. But, like, the last time that I said to somebody, like, I'm really concerned about you. And that's how I would say it. I'd say, can I talk to you for a second? Sure, yeah, what's going on? And I usually try to, like, have those conversations face to face. If I can't, you know, obviously I'd have them on the phone, but, you know, I'd say, listen, you know, I care a lot about you. And this would be my suggestion to anybody else out there, you know, to have a similar conversation. I'll say, you know, I really care a lot about you. You know, the other night when we were out, like, I noticed that, like, I mean, this isn't the first time it's happened, and you were, like, really, really drunk. And I've known you long enough to know that I don't think this is how you want to live your life, and I feel like maybe something's going on, and, like, if you need somebody to talk to, I'm here for you. You know, if you want to change that, like, I can help you with that, like, you know, give you some suggestions that have worked for me, because you know that I've gone through the same thing. Because I'm very open about it, obviously, to everybody. I've had a couple people that have said, will you take me to a meeting through the years? You know, I've had a couple people that have said, like, can you help me find treatment? I've had a lot of people that have asked me to take them to a meeting or help them find treatment, and then there's absolutely no follow through. But I think, like, I don't know, like, there were a lot of days that I woke up, you know, when I was drinking and using, and I thought, today's the day that I get sober. And then 3 hours later, I was like, no, I can do this on my own. And then I was, like, really inspired and motivated, and I was going to live a clean and sober life, and I was never going to pick up again. And then by 6 o'clock, I was like, well, maybe I could just have one more day. And then by 10 o'clock, I was blacked out, you know? Because I couldn't do it on my own. So I don't know. Yeah, I can't remember the last time that I've had that conversation. I can remember the last couple times that people have reached out to me, but I can't remember the last conversation that I've had where, like, because I interacted with somebody like that. I'm, like, really thinking. Yeah, it hasn't happened. But I'm also not in the same situations that I used to be, you know? Like, I'm not in those same situations. And the people that are close to me, I've never been with Valerie when she's been drinking. Melissa, like, if she, like, we were talking about this not long ago. I said something about, because, like, when I first met Melissa, like, she would, like, you know, somebody would buy, like, a round of shots for her birthday, and she would do some fruity shot or something like that, but she didn't like it. I could tell she didn't like it. You know, not the drink, but, like, she didn't like feeling like she had to do that and whatever. And I said something to her about it, and she was like, yeah, but I haven't done that in, like, 5 or 6 years. I was like, not even, like, on your birthday? She's like, no, not even on my birthday, I don't. She's like, I just don't drink. She made the decision, you know, after college that she didn't want to drink ever again or anymore, and she just doesn't. I mean, at all, period, you know? And she even, like, we were talking one night, and she's like, oh, yeah, when Jason and I first got together and we first got married and stuff, sure, we would, like, go out and have a glass of wine at dinner and stuff. She was like, you know, it was no big deal. She's like, I guess it wasn't right after college. College was when she, like, slowed things down, and then she just was like, I just don't need it in my life. I just realized I don't enjoy it, and it doesn't really make me that happy. But she's never had a problem with it, you know, and I have quite a few friends that are like that. And then I have other friends in my life that like Tanya, that's also sober with me, and stuff, but like Tanya's husband drinks, but like, have I ever seen Eric? I've seen Eric buzzed, but I've never seen him drunk. Like when we've been at the lake and stuff. But I've never seen him. I don't think I've ever seen him drunk. I don't think I would know, honestly. And I've known him for 24 years, so that's saying a lot. Okay, I started sharing a very, very personal story, and then I was like, you know what, like, I'm not going to share that on here. It's like, there are some things I just need to keep to myself. But anyway, yeah, like, that's how I would have that conversation with a friend or, somebody, family member, which I haven't had the need to do that. So that's how I would have that conversation with somebody that I knew that that I cared about, like about. I just really can't remember the last time, honestly, that I've ever like approached somebody. I do remember a couple times, like when Alex and I would go out, like, I mean, and now this has been like 6 or 7 years ago, but like I can remember like being out and somebody like this is kind of how it would happen. We would be out and somebody would just be like really, really intoxicated and like repeating their stories over and over to me, and it would be somebody that I kind of cared about, like, like friend, acquaintance, friend, and then I would see them, like, I don't know, like the following weekend, or I would never say it in a bar. Those would be probably occasions I would maybe say it on the phone. Like they would call me and they'd say, I'm so sorry, like, I know you don't drink, and I was, I heard I was kind of like up in your face talking last night and whatever. And I'd say, oh, it's, it's whatever, don't worry about it. And then they'd say, no, I just want to apologize. And I'd say, well, it is kind of concerning to me, like, this isn't the first time. And, if you ever need somebody to talk to, I'm here. And actually, it's interesting because I can remember I said that to somebody one time, and then she ended up getting sober like 2 or 3 years after that. It had nothing to do with me. I remember seeing her in a meeting, and she remembered the conversation that we had. And she said, do you remember? She came, I like gave a lead at this meeting, and she came up to me after. I saw her like as soon as I stood up to give the lead, and I was like, oh my God. And so she came up afterwards and she told me like she'd been sober for so long and whatever. And I was like, oh my God, that's amazing. And she and I have been like pretty close since then. And she was like, do you remember what you said to me like after I was, and I was like, yeah. And she was like, she was like, I would love to tell you that that's like what changed it, but it didn't. She was like, I just wasn't ready to hear it then, and I don't know, it's hard. That's where I say, like, if love were enough, people would just stop drinking all the time, but love isn't enough to get somebody, not that I loved her, because, I mean, I love her as a human being, but I didn't know her on that level. But I'm just saying, like, if we could love people enough to get them to stop to stop drinking or using drugs, if we could just caring about somebody enough, or, telling them that we're there for them was enough to get people to stop using, there would be no treatment programs, there would be no 12-step programs, because I think for every alcoholic and addict out there, there's somebody that really cares enough about them that wants them to stop. I really, truly believe that, There's this street that I had a friend that lived on years ago, and it's off of Spring Mill, and I never can remember where it's at down here. It's like 91st and Spring Mill. And I want to see if it's down here, because I can just remember the houses on that street were just absolutely amazing. All of these houses are amazing. It's beautiful through here. One of my really good friends back in the day, her parents lived on, they moved. They lived in this house right over here off of Spring Mill. It's like, it should be coming up right onto my left. It's like this one-story house. It's massive, but you would never know it from seeing it on the street. I feel like it's like right up here. I'm coming to a stop sign. I feel like it's right by the stop sign. Oh, it's there. There it is. Oh my God. That's so funny. But what was this street called? Okay, so here's 91st. It's like off of it's like off of this. And it's like a street that starts with like an A or something. I thought that car wasn't gonna stop. But it was like these amazingly beautiful homes. And I can remember I came here one night and I never knew that this street even existed. And then I came here and I was like, oh my God, these houses are amazing. Is this it? 93rd? I wonder if that is it. 93rd Street. I'll go up here and turn around because I think there's a roundabout up here. I feel like the street started with an A. I don't know why I think that. What is this street? No. One lane bridge. That might be it. Those houses are massive back there. I love to look at houses. Do you love to look at houses? Is this it? No, that's not it. Well, we're at 96th Street now, so it would have been. It would have been back there. I don't know what street. I think it was 93rd. But that seems weird to me if that's where it was. These houses must be big. There's like this huge pool house back there. It's not that street though, I remember. Because I can remember you like turn on it and it's like you would never know. Like just going, I mean, it's just like this little side street and you would never know that. It might be that, because that house right there is ginormous, but that's one lane bridge. I'm not trying to go on any street late at night that has a one lane bridge. That's creepy. We were sitting outside talking about serial killers and true crime and all kinds of stuff. I think it's 93rd. This is 93rd right here. Let's go down here and see. Okay. Because I'll know if it's my friend's house down here. This doesn't look right. Yeah, this doesn't look like it. Although there are some rather big houses here. Maybe this is it. There's like a lot of houses for sale on this street. I don't remember it being like this dark down here. No, this isn't it. Because it was on that side of the street. And I don't remember it being this dark. This street is spooky. I wouldn't want to live on this street. Huh. This house for sale up here has those flyers that you can get and you can see how much the house is. Should we get a flyer and see? I'm kind of interested because this house is cute. Well, it's not cute. It's like set way back. Here, I'll show you if you can see it. I think think it has those flyers, you see? It's like set way back. Find homes and estates. Should I get a flyer and see? Okay, hold on. Oh my God, I was so scared. You have no idea. I don't know why that scared me so bad. Okay. Who wants to guess how much that house is? Let's see. This is what Tanya and I used to do. Now, I feel like that house is looks like my friend's house. But that's right on Spring Mill. Do I turn right instead of left? Is that what it is? I don't have my reading glasses with me. Yeah. Shh. I have to use Diana's glasses. Why are they not coming out of the thing? They're like trapped in here. What is going on with my glasses, my reading glasses? They're like hooked on something. There. Oh, the glass spoke was like hooked around at the beginning. Okay. Oh, I can't read it that way. There. How many square feet is this house? Does it say? It was built in 67. It's 899. How many square feet is that? Does it say? 4 beds, 4 baths. I can't believe it doesn't say how many square feet. Area. Country estate in the heart of Indianapolis. 50-year roof, granite pool with fountains, outdoor to die for fireplace. I won't be buying that anytime soon. Well, out of my price range. But that was fun. To do something different on here. Oh, I guess I can turn this off now. Well, I don't know which one was my front street. It wasn't that one. Is it 92nd Street? Here's Dead End. God, another scary street. These streets are so scary. These yards are humongous. No, this was definitely not it. These are all like 1-story houses. I can remember going to her house and I was kind of like, oh my God, like you looked at it and then when you like went inside, you were like, oh my God. Oh, it says pavement ends. What? Get me out of this. I don't want to be here anymore. No, I'm out. I'm turning around. This is creeping me out tonight. I don't know why. I think all this talk of serial killers and true crime and stuff scares me. Sometimes it's like too much for me. Is it ever too much for you? Like, you know, I love all that stuff, right? But at the same time, sometimes it like scares the hell out of me. Well, I don't know where she lived. Maybe she lived the other way on Spring Mill, but I don't think she did. Where did my chapstick go? It's not in here. I was like, how is my chapstick missing? Did somebody get into my car while I was... I would die if there was somebody like in my back seat that had gotten in here when I went to go get that flyer. That would be so scary. I wonder if I would even know her house if I saw it. Here's 91st Street. I'm almost positive it's not 91st Street because that's like a through. What that street is, like a through street. Maybe it's 91st and then you turn off at 91st. I don't remember. It doesn't matter. Who cares? I just like to remember things. When I was in high school, my friends and I, we would like go out to eat somewhere, and then we would drive around and we would listen to music, and we would look at houses and tell stories in the car and smoke cigarettes and drink coffee. Now, sometimes we were bad and we drank, but not always. We didn't always. I drank a lot by myself when I was in high school, like just at my dad's house and stuff. I think that was the street, actually, right there. Is there a place for me to turn around? No, those were those condos I was looking at earlier. But when I was like at my dad's house alone in high school, I would drink a lot. But like when I was at his house when I was in high school, like, and I would just be there for the weekend or whatever, like after they would go to bed, I would be like in my bedroom upstairs, because their bedroom was on the master suite is like on the master suite. The master bedroom and bathroom is like on the ground, is like on the main floor, and my bedroom was on the second floor at the other end of the house. So I had like my own area, and they would go to bed at like 9 o'clock. My dad's always gone to bed super early, between like 8 and 9. And so I'd be up there watching movies, drinking. And, but often when I went out with my friends in high school, I mean, we were hellions and stuff like that, and smoked cigarettes, and I don't know, took construction cones and things like that, but we weren't always like horrible kids, you know? A lot of it was just driving around, listening to music, talking, and, you know, telling scary stories. There was this house in Carmel where I grew up, out in the middle of nowhere. Well, it's off 116th Street, I think. And it was like this huge Victorian estate. And it was called Flora Fauna Farms. And we used to like drive up there. We would like drive back on the road that led up there. We'd always get real scared and stuff. And we would do that quite a bit. And, but I can remember we would drive around and we would look at houses and drive around Indianapolis. And then I can remember we would go downtown a lot. And we would also... I wasn't like a big mall person in high school. I had a couple friends of mine that were mall people. But like my two friends, they always wanted to go to the mall. And I always like... I didn't really like going to the mall back in high school. Like going to the mall was kind of like where you like hung out and met dudes, you know, and all my friends were girls, so a couple of my friends always wanted to do that. And they would meet like punk guys from like other schools and stuff. Somebody on my video the other day, I said I was real into like punk music, and I was like, I said new age punk music, like The Smiths, The Cure, New Order, Gene Loves Jezebel. Who is the band that sings Taste of Cindy and Just Like Honey? Why can't I never can think of their name. But anyway, I still love them to this day. But I love the Violent Femmes, and somebody was like, that wasn't punk. And I was like, yeah, I know. Punk was like Sex Pistols, Sonic Youth, kind of like that mix between like punk and like metal, like that Circle Jerks, Black Flag, who is Henry Rollins was like a big guy that was like in all that kind of stuff. I wasn't really, like, there's a few Sex Pistols songs I liked. Public Image Limited, that had the guy from the Sex Pistols in it. I can't think of his name. But I liked like new age punk leading into like, I liked more of like that, like skater kind of like punk, like the Smiths. I love the Smiths, were probably my favorite band in high school. And followed by The Cure. Probably, actually, no, that's not true. Probably the Smiths and New Order would tie for first. Like, I loved New Order. I still love New Order. New Order and the Smiths I listen to still to this day all the time. I love them. And, but I had kind of like a variety of music I liked. I liked REM a lot. I liked Natalie Merchant and 10,000 Maniacs. You know, we would make mixtapes for each other back in the day. So, you know, it was a lot of like mixtapes that I would play. And I would find a song that I liked, and then I would kind of like fall in love with that artist, like Susie and the Banshees, Kate Bush. You know, it's so funny because I have this song going in my head, and the song was like, "It would be so easy." And I was like, who is that? And it was this band called Timbuk 3. I don't know how I just remembered that. But that was a band that I liked in high school. I actually remember this girl, and she was really cool and different and very punk looking, and she made me this mixtape that had a Public Image Limited, which we just called Pill, that song Rise on it, and every time I hear that song I always think of her. And you know what is so funny was that there was this girl that was that I went to high school with, and her brother was like 2 years older than me, or us, and she was in my class. And she had such cool, different style. She was super artsy. And she ended up going to like this great art school and having some very cool job. Like, she ended up like designing, I heard like she ended up designing like the interior of cars or something like that. Like that, like textile design kind of thing, right? But I remember seeing her. This is where like you have this idea of who somebody is, and then they so are not that, you know, like, I saw her at my like 10-year reunion. Like, I went there with a friend of mine, and I can remember seeing her, and I had like idolized this girl. Like, I just thought she was so different. And she always got like all of like the hot, like different kind of like skater guys, and she just was so cool, and like she kind of just owned her, like, I don't know, her individuality. And I just was kind of like so in awe of her. And I remember I saw her at this reunion, and I was like, you're such a sellout. Like, I don't know. Like, she just, like, looked so normal to me, and I thought, like, what happened? And I feel like with every person that, like, I looked up to, like, in junior high and high school that was really different and kind of funky and owned their own, like, individuality and their weirdness, like, they all sold out at some point, you know? It's like, I don't know, like, I remember this one girl reached out to me, and I, like, knew her, like, in junior high and, like, the start of high school. Then she ended up going to a different school, but anyway, she reached out to me a couple years ago, and I was like, I said something to her. I was like, you always inspired me to want to be different. Like, I thought you were such like a style icon when I was at, which she was, like, and when I was like in 9th grade, she was so different. And I just remember she was so unique, and just was everything about her, from her personality to everything. She just stood out, you know. We're talking like 9th grade, right? But like, I don't know. I think those were formidable years where you're looking up at people like that. And she was like, that's so funny. She was like, because I thought that about you. And I look back at that shy kid, you know, that was 14 going on 15 years old that I was. And I'm sitting there like, and I was like, so, I mean, look at me now. I throw on a hoodie because I'm overweight. It's comfortable, you know, but like, back then, it was like every little detail of like my outfit was so important to me. And it was like, I don't know, I was just so like different back then. Like, I mean, that's like one big reason why, let's bit the side of my mouth, I really want to lose weight, is so that I can like start like exploring style again. I miss that. Like, I miss being able to demonstrate how I feel on the inside, on the outside through clothes. Like, I really miss that, you know? But it's kind of crazy to think that somebody that you looked up to all that time, like, that I was scared of her, like, she intimidated the hell out of me, you know? And then to find out that all along, like, she was looking at me that same way, you know? Like, and that we never talked, and we could have been friends or whatever, I don't know. I mean, in reality, we never would have been. It's like the Breakfast Club, right? Like when she says, you know, Monday morning's gonna come and we're never gonna talk to each other again. And she's like, don't say that, I wouldn't let that happen. But you know, it's the truth. And that's the thing. It's like, you do know it's the truth. Like, you know, 30 years later, we can say that. And like, wouldn't that be funny? We would have been friends back then. No, we wouldn't have been. Nobody was trying to be my friend back then, you know? Maybe if somebody had taken a chance, and you know, that's one of the reasons why I'm so like defensive of people that are different and own their own weirdness and freakiness today, is because that was what my friends were, you know? And those were the people that accepted me. Those were the people that loved me unconditionally. Those were the people that had my back. Were my friends that were different, my friends that didn't always necessarily fit in, and my friends that didn't care that they were my friends no matter what. They didn't care. You know, they didn't care if people thought I was gay or, you know, effeminate or whatever. They loved me for me. And, you know, like, and they were wonderful people. And I don't just think that's the shallowness of youth. I think that's the shallowness of humanity, is I think when we're not willing to stand by somebody because we're afraid of how it'll affect us or whatever. I don't know, but I'm going to get off here now because I want to listen to my audiobook, because I'm obsessed with this audiobook, and I only have 2 hours left of book 1 of Magical Midlife Madness. It's really good. I recommend it highly. It's not the deepest book in the world, and it won't get 5 stars from me, but I will tell you it's a really fun read. And the main character, Jessie, is hilarious, and she has no idea that she has these magical powers, and I don't even know what magical powers she's going to have yet, but it's like so good. If you're looking for a new series to start, I would definitely suggest it. So, and then tomorrow we're gonna go to brunch, and I don't know what I'm gonna do. I may take the day and just kind of like relax and watch some TV shows, or I may make a bunch of videos, and I don't know, we'll see when I get up in the morning. So, sometime this week I'll do the long outro again, but for tonight, I just wanna say thank you guys for listening, thank you guys for watching. I had a fun time vlogging tonight. This is cathartic for me, just to kind of like, I don't know, it was fun, it was nice. I appreciate it. It means a lot to me that you guys listen. And that hurt when I bit the inside of my mouth. But I hope you guys are having an amazing Sunday. Practice random acts of kindness today. Don't forget you can start your day over whenever you want. If nobody else has told you this today, I love you. Make sure that you look at yourself in the mirror every single day and you tell yourself I love you, and at least one positive affirmation. Make a gratitude list today. Do something that will make you fun, make you happy, and do something that's fun and exciting. Do something that will make yourself proud when you look back on it. And let somebody know how much they mean to you today. And practice random acts of kindness, like I said. And always, always, like it says in the 4 agreements, lead with love. But love, compassion, kindness are good ways to start your day, and enjoy your Sunday. It's my favorite day of the week. I love Sundays. It's a good way to relax and refresh before the week to come. So I love you guys, and I will see you tomorrow. Bye. Love ya!